Hi everyone, I'm Liz Rhodes.
And I'm Mitch Mahar.
And we're from
WhistlePig Whiskey.
And here's your craft spirits and distilling
Tip of the week. Within our single finish program, it's sort of the first steps of us in terms of our innovation. I have at least 30 finishing casks working at any time that are all different cask varietals. This allows me to really see new things that rye can do in a space that perhaps people aren't used to seeing it. And it also forms the basis of, it's the trial ground for Boss Hog, really. And then with that, you'll see, especially in early iterations of Boss Hog, that some of the casks we used were really some of our favorite casks from our single finish program that then we decided to scale up because we thought the cask was so amazing and it really highlighted the rye in a way that we couldn't get with standard American oak or any other cask. So that's really where our innovation program sort of starts. It's where it takes root. Of course, we've had many iterations of Boss Hog. The 11th iteration of Boss Hog will release this year. And so with that, you sort of see a development in terms of where we really picked out some of our favorite single finishes, but where we also sort of started to change gears. So whereas there was a lot of single cask work with Boss Hog, in recent history, we've decided, as opposed to being simply inspired by a spirit or a wine or beer, to really be more inspired by place and cuisine. So this really starts off, we see it with Boss Hog 9. So Boss Hog 9 has a dual finish. Basically, we went to Greece. We were able to try wonderful Greek food, Greek beverages. And so one of the things that we discovered when we were out there is this beverage known as tintura. And tintura is typically, it's like a house spirit. So every village, every household has like their own slightly different recipe of tintura. It typically uses grappa as a base, but it's really nice. It has these wonderful notes of honey and citrus, allspice, like things that really we thought would play well with rye whiskey. And so initially we're like, oh, we should see if we can find a barreled varietal of this. And of course, there was no commercially available barreled versions of it. We realized we're incredibly intelligent distillers. Why don't we just create our own tintura? And so that's what we did. We created our own tintura. We used our rye distillate as its base. And then we specialty conditioned casks with that tintura spirit base to really deliver a really nice Boss Hog that reached flavors that you couldn't see anywhere else. So with that same idea, a lot of our future Boss Hogs, or Boss Hogs that we've seen since then, and for the foreseeable future, are really more inspired by place in cuisine than by a singular spirit. And with that being said, much like mashing in rye and fermenting rye is a messy process and definitely a labor of love, the innovation that would go into Boss Hog is definitely also an innovation of love. And as the research and development distiller here, it takes the bulk of my daily time in terms of what I do every single week.
To learn more about the WhistlePig Whiskey approach to rye whiskey,
click the link below.